Just to start with a little bit of level set here, what a lot of folks don't realize about KUB is we serve more than Knoxville and parts of Knox County. And so I just want to show you a map of the electric service territory because that's where this broadband plan would be centered around. So you'll notice to the north, a lot of space up there in Union County would be able to be part of the opportunity to have broadband service as well as part of Granger County. If you look at Knox County proper, we do have KUB customers that live in deep, what I'll call deep west, west of Cedar Bluff. There are a lot of folks that only have gas service from KUB. Now, unfortunately, per the state law, this is limited to our electric customers. So if you're a gas-only customer, you will not be able to receive this service, nor would the funding to go behind inside of this grid modernization plan would not be impactful to you. We have more than 5,000 electric lines. That gives you 5,000 miles of electric lines. That gives you a feel for how much fiber ultimately we'd have to lay in order to serve broadband services. We cover 688 square miles serving 212,000 customers. And about 5 years ago, as part of our Century 2 plan, and really our first effort in grid modernization, we realized that fiber was a key part of our utility system. It provides a great low latency, high speed way for our infrastructure to talk to each other. And we set upon an endeavor to lay about what would be 300 miles of fiber to connect all of our substations. So you can kind of get an economy of scale there of what our current plans hold to what it would ultimately take to serve broadband service. What we get asked a lot though is why is KUB wanting to do this? What's the value proposition? Well, there's really a couple key reasons why. One reason is that fiber is really key to the electric grid's future. Again, as we enter the next 100 years, if you will, of electric power in Knoxville, customers' expectations for reliability continue to climb and climb and climb. Many of us were impacted by the Christmas Eve storm, no fun, and we need technology in order to keep those things from happening. The great news is, as technology has advanced on the electric system, there are devices that can help improve reliability, and utilities across the nation are doing that. But they require that fiber platform in order to be able to work. Both current and future applications down the road, as we hear more about EVs, solar panels, in-home load control, all of them are foundational. They require that low latency, high speed medium for communication. So how does broadband tie into that? Well, it's on that same network that KUB, per state law, can actually provide broadband service to our electric customers. And so that's one why, is the benefit to the electric division. The second reason is boy, all of us are hopefully coming out of the pandemic, but what we realized is indeed, the pandemic highlighted, just in our opinion, how much broadband service is a utility. Both in the inner city of Knoxville and our rural communities, everybody was working, going to school, visiting their doctor online, and a reliable high-speed broadband became a necessity. And through our research, we've realized that there are portions of KUB service territory with either inadequate internet service or limited choice. And what we hear from the research is folks want that choice. They want a better option in that particular regard. We also see an option here to really reduce the digital divide for our low-income customers. And there are programs that are being developed nationwide. You're getting a lot of information from a federal or state level about support for rural broadband, for services for low-income folks. We want to be part of that solution as well. We can't solve it by ourselves, but we think with both private and public partners, we can find a way to do something for those folks that struggle in these situations. So, at the end of the day though, it's bigger than just the cost of installing the fiber and providing the service. The quote on the board is from Dr. Benton Lobo. He's an economist with the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. He's done a couple studies about EPB in Chattanooga. Many of you have heard about Chattanooga and their success with municipal broadband. And what they would tell you in that deal is that for a $500 million investment, they've reaped that over to $2.5 billion over the course of the 10 years of Chattanooga's system. But as you can see, the quote on the screen, at the end of the day, the benefit to the community is much greater, and it's much more than just installing the fiber lines. It's necessary for that smart grid that I talked to you about improving KUB's electrical infrastructure, but it's also required for cutting edge business, educational, and research applications. So, what we're here to hear from you tonight about is, what would be KUB's fiber division look like? It's a fifth division for KUB. As you're aware, we already have water, gas, wastewater, and electric service. So it'd be a fifth division operated by KUB, financially separate from those other divisions, has to run on its own. Service would be available to every electric customer without installation cost. We think inside of our plan, it would add approximately 200 jobs to KUB, not mentioning the contractors and related jobs and capital investment that would be inside of Knoxville. And we think it provides enhanced technology with competitive pricing. So a lot of folks say, well, what's inside that business plan and what do you want to sell? So from a residential perspective, our entry-level package is a gigabyte symmetrical, meaning both upload and download speeds are equivalent. And that's a really unique aspect of a municipal broadband product. No contracts, unlimited, meaning use all you want, we'll make more, not charging you for overages. And again, everything is local. 24/7, 365 support, locally here in Knoxville, staffed by local folks, and technical support provided the same way. That's not the only package. Again, 2.5 gigabyte symmetrical internet option will be available as well too. Other, what I'll call ancillary products that go along with it, what you're seeing in the market is most folks offer that proverbial triple play, and KUB would as well. So not only will we offer television and phone service, be streaming product there, so no set-top boxes. Many of you have Rokus, Fire Sticks, that kind of notion. We would have a TV option to go along with that with 3 different packages. If you kind of want to know what is in those, we get that question a lot. Go to Electric Power Board in Chattanooga is a great representative of what a municipal TV product looks like. You can stream on multiple devices. Most of you are familiar with what that looks like. But also we want to offer a managed router service. Sometimes you just want the easy button in setting up this in your home. I know sometimes my Wi-Fi speed's not fast enough and I don't know how to fix it. For $15 a month, we'll take ownership of that. Your Wi-Fi network, the speeds, so forth and so on, being sure that you have the best possible experience with KUB. And I mentioned that other element of the triple play. The phone will be available, a voice over IP product, unlimited long distance, enhanced features with caller ID, what you'd expect from a traditional semi-landline product in that particular regard. And also we would offer offerings to our business community as well too. Those are a little bit different than residential. They're a little more a la carte, a little more sculpted to what that business is, but we would offer business products for our business community as well. So, what's it look like and how do we pay for it? How much does it cost? It's about 5,000 miles of distribution fiber. Talk to you about that. We estimate it would take us about 7 years to build that out. And the next question you usually get is, well, when are you going to be in my neighborhood? When does it start? When is it going to be in my neighborhood? We would start as early as this fall. Again, we've got a lot of fiber plant that's already built. We'd start near where that is. But we would look to really reach those areas that we know we have utility need to solve some of those reliability issues. We'd try to target some of the underserved areas that need this service. And then we also estimate that with federal dollars down the line, some of that could be sculpted by what's available for rural broadband internet through grants. It would cost $702 million in electric system cost over the 10 years, the first 10 years of the plan. And like what we do with all of our capital projects, we would fund that with a balanced approach using debt, meaning issuing bonds, revenue, meaning rates that you as our ratepayers pay, and then the fiber division pays back access to that electric division in the form of what we call access payments. At its peak, at a 35% take rate, meaning 35% of the market that we can serve signs up for KUB, that almost gets up to $30 million on an annual basis. So again, a sizable lease payment, if you will, coming back to the electric division. So what does that rate forecast look like? Because we know that impacts all of our customers, and we want to be completely transparent about it. So the 10-year financial plan does include 3 consecutive 3% annual rate increases on the front end of the plan. We had rate increases as part of our Century 2 program, already in our 10-year plan, but how we would characterize how we've changed it is we've moved them forward a little bit, and we've made them a little bit more to be able to fund this enhanced grid modernization plan. It includes, again, that continued investment in Century 2, which is no more complicated than replacing poles, maintaining our substations, expanding for growth. And then the good news is on the rate increase forecast is that no anticipated rate increases past those 3. So what we've seen in Chattanooga, and they've said this in public, is that revenue coming from the fiber division serves as a source of revenue for the electric division and really has been able to stabilize their electric rates in that regard. How does that impact the average customer? And that long-term impact of funding the fiber network is about $3.60 on the average residential bill. I might have to use a toy here so I can point at the chart. What you'll see here on the left, so you can kind of find yourself on this chart, is kilowatt hours used by different levels of customers. our average customer, it's kind of hard to see that it's bold there, it's about 1,100 kWh a month. So today's current average bill for that customer is $117 a month. With both of those increases, those 3% at full build out, at the end of the implementation of those 3 rate increases, will be a total, a monthly addition of $10.80. How that breaks down to our current plans and the addition for this enhanced grid mod, you can see the difference between the 2 columns. So the value proposition for the increase for the fiber network is on average about $3.60 a month. Now, if you use less, that impacts less. If you use more, it'll be more because it's based on the usage in that particular regard. So, a lot of folks want to know, well, what's next in this process? We're here tonight. You are here. On the map here, part of the process codified by state law is we have to have a public forum hearing from you and allowing our board to hear from you what you think about this value proposition of KUB providing broadband. From there, the board can consider a recommendation and a creation of the division and recommend City Council approve it. And you can see the last vote, City Council has a vote as our governing jurisdiction, allowing us to get into the business. So, tonight, and I'll reiterate what Mr. Bola said, ultimately the question is should KUB proceed with this plan? Tonight's format will be you giving feedback to the board. There will be back and forth, and we know you may have questions. So we're gonna hang around. Feel free to see us after the meeting tonight. I'd love to talk to you about it, hear your thoughts and comments and concerns. If you have questions that didn't get answered. Because we want to be respectful of everybody's time, we're asking folks to kind of keep your comments to around 3 minutes. There'll be a helpful timer that'll be up on the board so you can kind of gauge yourself where you are in that particular regard. So those end my formal comments. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this process. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Jared.